Good morning. It's the 27th of May, 2025. And this made me smile this morning. This is a very interesting point of fact. CNN, bless you, Daily News, 1 week, 55,000 views. We're getting that about every single day, CNN. So maybe it's time you stopped lying to people and giving them a narrative or a propaganda and started telling the truth. That's what you were supposed to be doing. And that's what we do. We don't care what the truth is because nobody pulls our strings. Nobody pays us to say things. We say things because we find out what the truth is, whether we like it or not. And I suppose the most popular story yesterday was in everybody's face was dear old Macron with his handler, whether she be male or female or anything in between. The world was watching. And he was just about to get off a plane and he got a slap from his handler, his wife, his boyfriend, whatever you want to call it, as he was trying to talk to her. But we now know, Macron, as much as you like to think that you're in control of France, somebody is pulling your strings. And that's not just Macron. That's Starmer, that's Merz, that's all of you in the EU. Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Charlie. Well, I'm going to jump in with my story, and I'll tell you right now, it's hilarious to watch that video on Macron because he's like, and then he clocks the cameras on him, and he's like, so yeah, it was a good one. Well, this is an interesting one. The FBI is reopening high-profile cases, including the 2023 discovery of cocaine at the White House, the leak of the Supreme Court's Dobbs draft that overturned Roe versus Wade, and the 2021 pipe bombs near party offices before the Capitol riot. Deputy Director Dan Bongino says these incidents demand fresh scrutiny and is calling for public tips. Investigations will now get renewed resources and weekly update. I've got a feeling we're about to see the shake-up of the FBI, and cases that the deep state cabal thought were buried going to be reopened.
It's going to be very interesting to see, Paul. And not only does it help expose the truth about these cases, it exposes something far darker. It exposes the fact that the FBI are corrupt. And this is very important. The CIA and the FBI were put in place to stop this sort of thing happening. And we've heard the term draining the swamp. And this is the main reason for draining the swamp, because what it has done is infiltrated the parts of government that are there to protect every one of us. And they have become contaminated. And this is why it's taking so long. Don't panic. Everything is coming out. And thank God for Doge and Elon Musk. Whether you like him or hate him, Donald Trump came to stir the pot. Elon Musk came to take out the pieces and expose them. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. The next story that we have to say to Donald Trump, please get rid of Keith Kellogg. Keith Kellogg, as you know, is the general who's put forward this rather ridiculous 22-point plan. And of course, you never send a general to do a peace deal. You send diplomats to do a peace deal. You send generals to make war. Now, he has come out and said, this is Kiev. The indiscriminate killing of women and children at night in their homes is a clear violation of the 1977 Geneva Peace Protocols designed to protect innocents. These attacks are shameful. Stop the killing. Ceasefire now. Couple of things there, Charlie. First of all, what they hit in Kiev was a drone factory, a very high production high production drone factory. This comes just a few days after Ukraine tried to launch a whole bunch of drones at Putin's helicopter when he was going to Kursk. Basically, Ukraine trying to assassinate the president of Russia. That would not go down too well at all, because we'll end up getting Medvedev and we'll probably end up in a nuclear war. And of course, with Kellogg coming out with this and saying all these sorts of things, it's just complete nonsense. And Trump is putting him out there, so the spotlight, as you always say, is on him. But this guy, he is so sold down the river, it's quite incredible.
When we say that this is all pantomime, just step back for a moment, everybody, and think about the fact that a general from the military is advising the world on TikTok. Just tell me if that sits right. Now, I know a lot of generals. In fact, when I'm in the United Kingdom, my head of security there is the retired training major from Sandhurst. These people don't go on TikTok and tell you their plans, I can assure you. And if you're seeing this, you're seeing the pantomime. It's time to wake up.
Well, everybody, my next story. President Trump and HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. have unveiled the new Maha report, blaming over-medicalization, poor diet, environmental chemicals, and a lack of physical activity for rising chronic illnesses in children. The report criticizes the pharmaceutical industry, influence, and questions vaccine safety, drawing pushback from medical groups. Trump vowed bold action, saying public health should serve families, not corporate interests. Boom. It's all starting to come out, Charlie. Every day we are seeing new things coming out.
We are, and for the first time, I have to be careful how I say this, but for the first time, for as long as I can remember, we're allowed to criticize the Jews and the pharmaceutical companies. We've never been allowed to do that before, because either we're an anti-Semite or we need to trust the science. Your bullshit is over, boys. We're coming for you.
Absolutely. And I think they're coming certainly for this. And you say it's over and we are allowed to criticise the Jews. Well, in the UK, slightly different, Charlie. We've got this. So we had Dulwich Hamlet versus Clapton. It was played at Maidstone United and it was a Women's Cup final. Now they had Free Palestine banners out there. And the owner of Maidstone United what's got the referee to stop the game with only about 20 minutes to go and told everybody that they had to put away the Free Palestine flag. Slightly odd, everybody thought, but he insisted that if they didn't, he instructed the referees that they would have to leave his property as the owner of Maidstone United, and they cancelled the Women's Cup final due to the fact that people dared to have a Free Palestine flag out there, Charlie. So in Great Britain, it seems as though, shall we say, the control over people seems very almost constant and very wide-ranging.
Well, you'll be glad to know that Donald Trump actually sent over an envoy of people to investigate the free speech in the UK. Free speech in the UK does not exist. It only exists if you say what they want you to say. Then it's free. But if you challenge what they say, it's not free speech. Now, we've come up against that on our journey, where, oh, no, it's definitely free speech. And then suddenly, well, it is until you mention this, and you can't mention this, and you can't mention this. This is why we were banned for a lifetime ban from YouTube. This is why we have our own channel, because we want to get the truth out there, whether we like it or not. And there are many times that I've said this, and I'll say it again. There's many times I would love to be proven wrong. And if I'm proven wrong, I will hold my hands up. But sadly, So far, everything we've told you is true. We're in the high 98.2% success rate on the truth. We may be a few years ahead of the rest of the world, but we get it right.
Well, my last story, and for those out there who say tariffs don't work, President Trump has agreed to delay a 50% tariff on EU goods, pushing the start date from June the 1st to July the 9th, after a call with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. Trump said it was his privilege to grant the extension, but warned the EU remains very difficult on trade. Talks continue with the EU, hoping to strike a deal and avoid steep tariffs that could escalate tensions and hurt both economies.
Well, one of the biggest problems with the EU is you've got a group of people who don't actually get on, don't actually like each other. I mean, you don't have to. I've reminded you so often about the difference between Spain and Germany, two equal European members. But you mentioned the word equal when Germany's around there. No, 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 no. We're in charge. Yeah, and Spain are like, you do what you want. That's how they are. It was never ever going to work. It's a failed project. And to get anything done in the EU, it's close to impossible. I can tell you on very, very good authority, but also cautiously, that individual countries are talking to the Americans and Trump's team individually because they're sick and tired of the bureaucracy that is created through Brussels.
Yeah, absolutely. And in my last story, Charlie, something to do with Brussels, tagging on from that. Here we've got a graph, and it shows the amount of drones that the Russians are literally are making and able to strike with. And of course, those numbers are going up each year. They are producing more and more drones. Now, the most important thing about this was it's been a bad week for Macron because he had one of his ships dock at Odessa. The Russians knew exactly what was on it. There was over 100 crates, including Patriot missiles for the Patriot missile defense system. And of course, they decided that they were going to hit them. So they've blown that ship up. So there's none of those Patriot missiles. And the other thing, the attack on Kiev the other night, which was the largest ever seen since this whole conflict began, literally, they set off 40 or 50 of these Patriot missiles, which they don't really have to be able to be launching them. So some guy pressed a button somewhere, up went 40, 50 of these Patriot missiles, and the EU can only send them about 15 Patriot missiles a month. They used 40 in one night.
Yeah. And this is a classic case of what's going on. The other thing one of the important things that Warren has brought to the morning news is the fact that we have people inside on the other side as well as this side. And myself and Warren are going to go and have a sit-down conversation with a Chinese ambassador, something that nobody else has done yet. I have some very, very good connections in China and in Russia. They're very, very valuable because mainstream media, Western mainstream media, is totally propaganda. And I've sat there with Paul in one of the Sheikh's palaces, and the Middle East just laugh at the news like a comedy program, don't they, Paul?
Oh, yes, they do. Wait, you've got men dressed as women attacking people and going into male toilets, and they're laughing their asses off.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know what? It's hilarious to me as well. But, how can people take this seriously? I don't know.
And people do. So I would suggest to you, if you want to know the truth, you check us out and then try and prove me wrong over against sitting there and letting your head be full of the stuff that comes out of the television. I'll leave you with that thought.